Hi guys, Dark Aperture here, and today I'm back with a $550 gaming rendering build. Now this build, since it's also for rendering and not just gaming, will require some money put into the CPU versus the GPU, which means this is more of a balanced configuration. Now let's look at the parts list, then we'll move on, as usual. Now for the processor, I'm with the AMD FX 6350. Now this processor would be overkill for a normal $550 build, but we need the 6 cores to help with the rendering performance, and this is a pretty fast CPU. Its stock core is also pretty decent, so we won't have to put money into an aftermarket cooler. This is all for $140 as well, so that's pretty good. Now for the motherboard, I went with the ASRock 960GM U3S3. It performs pretty decent. It's also got USB 3 and SATA 6. And its price is pretty amazing at $55, and that makes it a good deal. Now for the RAM, 4 gigs of RAM would be good for a game build, but for a rendering build, it's 8 gigs at the minimum, similar with 8 gigs of Crucial Ballistic Sport DDR3 1333. Now this is only $50 RAM, and that's pretty awesome for considering that you're getting 8 gigs of RAM. Sure, it's not very fast RAM, but you don't need fast RAM unless you're using an APU, which in this case you aren't. It's also pretty low profile memory, so if you put it on a big heatsink later on, it won't matter too much. Now, for the graphics card, I went with the Asus Strix 2 Ready HD 7790. Now this comes bundled with 3 games, and it's pretty powerful. Sure, it's not as fast as 650 Ti Boost, but that card only comes bundled with 1 game, and trust me, they're all the same quality games. And plus, it was more expensive, so I needed to cut down on the graphics card cost so I could get 8 gigs of RAM in the system. And it's only $150, so it'll still be able to play games pretty well. Now for the hard drive, I went for 500GB Caviar Blue. It's a $60 hard drive. It's reliable. It's somewhat fast. And 500 gigs should be enough for game saves. And should be enough for whatever YouTube videos you happen to make. All for $60. That's pretty good as well. Now for the power supply, I went with the Corsair CX500. Now, a 500-watt power supply can power this build pretty easily, and you will need a pretty good power supply if you're making any build at all. You should never cheap out on the power supply. Just never do it. If you cheap out on the power supply, you just skipped the class of PC Building 101, the kindergarten version. I'm serious, it's that bad if we cheap out on the power supply. And this is a $50 power supply, and it's pretty good for what that price is. Now, you all know the optical drive, Asus 24X, whatever. Now for the case, I went with an Apex SK393C. Considering all the parts I had in this build, fitting a sturdy case was not possible in this budget. So I got this cheap case. It's built like a cheap case, but you do get what you paid for, and holds everything in this build, all for $25. So that's pretty much it. The final price of this build is exactly $550. I won't lie, it will cost $650 with the OS, but that's not a big deal. You might have an OS that's lying around. So that's pretty much it. Subscribe to my channel, Dark Aperture, if you like this video. And goodbye. God, I'm yawning quite a bit today.